Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Slamhub Wrestling. Myself Suprit, and this is the review for night one of AEW Fyter Fest. And I'm joined by Abhishek Aneja, aka Abby Maniac. What's up, Abby?
I'm fine, Suprit. It's been a while. How
Yes,
about
it is.
you? How are you?
I'm doing good for the past couple of weeks. Little bit stress here and there, but I'm doing good.
hmm So, regarding today's show, in your opinion, overall, how was it?
Um, I think AEW delivered like they booked. Every match was up to the expectation, but it was a good show.
hmm I also agree with you. It was not, as you say, anything. There was not anything extraordinary, but yes, it was a good show. As it was advertised, it was presented as it is.
Yeah, so we had three championship matches. Hikaru Shida defended the women's championship against Penelope Ford. Cody defended the TNT championship against Jake Hager. Kenny Omega, Hangman Page. They defended their tag team championship against Best Friends. Plus, we had two special tag team matches: Wardlow and MJF versus Jurassic Express. Pride Party versus Santana and Ortiz. Also, an interesting development regarding John Moxley and his title match against Brian Cage. So before that, if you are new to this channel, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell for all notifications. We and Slam Up Wrestling cover all pro wrestling related stuff, including reviews for Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW Dynamite, and New Japan as well. We also have a flagship podcast called the Slam Up Wrestling Podcast, so make sure to check that out. So, before we run through this card, I wanted to get your thoughts on this mini pay-per-view format they are doing for Dynamite. We saw it with Bash at the Beach, Jericho Cruise. They had planned Blood and Guts, and now Fighter Fest.
hmm
So, what's your take on this thing the AEW is doing?
Mm, eh, Doing a rather pay-per-view on television, it is good for the sake of ratings and also for booking the shows as to have an endings to the stories. So you are booking a special show for having the end games for the stories. You have the story regarding Chris Jericho and Orange Cassidy. You have Jake Hager, Cody, and you have other stories. So you can have an end on a special show. If you are not in a, you can say, a position to have a pay-per-view, so you can have a special show on your weekly television, just like SmackDown also did in 2016, in my opinion, where they were having great shows every week. So at one point of time, they also booked a special show, uh, and they booked it in advance that next week we are having something something show. They gave it a name and they booked it as such. So it is a great way to have a show, and now to have an end game to a lot of stories. Just like you have best friends who are ranked one throughout the lockdown, so now they are getting a title shot. So it is good. And now it is uh, it is not news that last week NXT throttled AEW in the ratings in the
Hmm.
United States.
Yeah.
So it also is now on AEW. It is a high pressure situation now a little bit that you have to give a great show. So it is.
I think it's not just the ratings. I think AEW doing this mini pay-per-view thing fits them perfectly because of them doing only 4 or 5 pay-per-views a year.
Hmm.
Like like even NXT is doing the same thing with Bash at the Beach, and they also have the same format, like doing 3 or 4 takeovers. So
Yes. Yes, you have a
let's
lot of special events
yeah.
on weekly shows rather than having pay-per-views every month. You have special events in between so that you can book proper stories and
Yes.
having end stories rather than you see on the main roster WWE. They have a rather obligation because of the TV deals, or you can say because of revenue, the lust of money. They have to have a pay-per-view every month, so they are not putting in much of their brains in booking long-term stories so that people get invested. They are only booking short stories, which only last 3 weeks, so people do not get invested in that rather than in this format which we are now seeing in AW or NXT. They can get invested if we have a special weekly a week event here or there. It is good,
And
and it
that's
also
the that
serves the purpose of their ratings thing too.
and that's one of the reason why you can't do long term booking on the main roster.
Hmm, exactly.
So let's run through the crowd, I'm saying card. So show kicks off. Chris Jericho was on commentary calling exact Excalibur a masked idiot, and of course Tony Skibone.
Hmm.
Um, First match of the night: MJF and Wardlow versus Jurassic Express. MJF had a pre-match promo. He shared his displeasure on why this tag team match is happening. He brought up the fact how Wardlow beat Luchasaurus last week and exposed that he was green. And no, he wasn't talking about his green tongue.
Hmm.
Um, he also brought up how he beats Jungle Boy at Double or Nothing. He said you can't win a ratings war without him. So we can quickly get into this match. This went 11 minutes. MJF and Jungle Boy started the match. They did a little callback spot to the Double or Nothing match. Jungle Boy tried to do the poison rana on MJF on the apron, but Wardlow picked him up and sent him into the post. The heel team work on Jungle Boy for the rest of the match until a hot tag is made to Luchasaurus. So he goes wild on both MJF and Wardlow. At one point, he went face to face with Wardlow. They exchanged some strikes. Tag made to both MJF and Jungle Boy. MJF sent to the outside and is taken out by a suicide dive by Jungle Boy. Wardlow goes outside, takes out Jungle Boy. Luchasaurus comes in, wipes out Wardlow with a springboard dive. At one point, all 4 men were laid out and they did a keep up. Wardlow and Luchasaurus crash into each other. Jungle Boy skipped over both big men, hit a Canadian destroyer on MJF while Jericho on commentary shouted Happy Canada Day.
Hmm.
Finish saw MJF accidentally punching Wardlow with the dynamite diamond ring. Luchasaurus hit a choke slam and the standing moonsault combo to get the win. I think this was a decent match. Luchasaurus is a better tag team wrestler. I believe we will get another MJF versus Jungle Boy match. What do you think?
So, regarding this match, in my opinion, it was basically a spot fest because now, as FTR have made their presence felt on AEW television, it has exposed the art of tag team wrestling, which is missing in many of the tag teams which are there in AEW or even in the world. if we see, so it or it sometimes even feels that the matches which are having only spots and not a story which is being uh, shown, or rather than happening inside the squared circle, which is a better art rather than only having spots like Canadian Destroyer, then Tope Suicida, and other stuff. It it is not gelling with me as a person. So what happened was, and also there are two big guys. They are wrestling like cruiserweights. They are doing kip-ups. They are doing these tope suicidas. They are doing moonsaults. If you are a big guy and you are also wrestling like your counterparts, your partners, then what is the difference? What is the difference? You are doing spots like this. So what is the difference between you and them? There should, if you are a big guy and you can do that athletic shit, you should have it a little special. You should do it in a very minuscule way. You should not expose it like anything, that you are doing it in a very, you know, such a way that you are just exposing it. You should do it in a very sporadic way, in my opinion.
Well,
Because
well,
if
you
you do it, then it takes away from the fact that you are a big guy. You are a big guy, you should wrestle like a big guy, na?
sorry to interrupt you, but didn't Keith Lee got over just by doing some out of this big man, like more like a PWG style, like you would say? Didn't he get over just by doing this stuff?
He would have gotten over in PWG with that PWG style. Is he doing the same shit here in NXT too? Like throughout the match, he is wrestling like uh, doing kebabs, doing everything throughout the match, or he is doing it here or there.
I get your point regarding to this match, but yeah, go on.
That is only my point. You can do it. It is good, but do it here or there rather than do it everywhere. Do it here or there. That is only my point. You can do it, it is great, but do it here or there so that it feels special and it gets a pop. Because if you are doing it everywhere, it will come a point that it will not pop the crowd. It will not. Then it will just be like, okay, what is next? That it is normal. Huh? Yes, you can do that. We all know that. So you should keep it special. Your athleticism with regards to your size, your height, your weight, keep it special. That is my point.
What did you feel about Luchasaurus after the criticism he got from last week's match?
Criticism with regards to what MJF said.
Yes, base.
Yes, MJF's promo was great. Uh, I have no qualms with his promo skills. That is good. That is absolutely, his promo was fire because he addressed Luchasaurus being green. He addressed AEW NXT's ratings war because NXT got a big win over AEW. Then he called out Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy and MJF, they are trading barbs at each other on Twitter, and now it happens on television too. He calls him a rich douche, and he says that why ain't he at home counting his daddy's money. Basically, why is he wrestling? Because he has lots of money. And at the end, we saw a little hiccup in the relationship between Wardlow and MJF. So we have to see what develops between the two. It is coming here or there, little bit pieces, a
but
trouble in
not soon.
paradise.
But
We
not
have to
soon.
see.
But that breakup is not coming.
Not
Uh,
very soon.
yeah, it's not coming that soon.
No, no, no.
I think Wardlow is growing as a performer with this partnership he has with MJF. So let it grow for another year or so.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So from that, they announced that next week after Fighter Fest, there will be a puppy battle royal. So watch out NXT.
That would be awesome.
Um,
NXT is going to have a run for its money. Maybe a
yeah,
bash at the beach night too. Maybe.
who knows? We may get Roman Reigns back in the last segment of NXT next week.
Yes. Counter programming. Puppy Battle
Uh,
Royale. We have the big dog. Yes.
Imagine that.
Uh,
Um, we get a brawl between Lance Archer and Joey Janela in the crowd. So they are building up some fire for their match next week.
yes.
From that, we get to the first championship match that was for the AEW Women's Championship. Hikaru Shida versus Penelope Ford. Did a video package for their match. So Kip Sabian was sent to the back from the get-go. To the match, this went about 11 minutes. So Shida did her best to bring the best out of Penelope Ford, but there still was some botches here and there. But the final parts of the match was great. So it started from Shida hitting the Falcon Arrow and the pin, but Ford quickly counters into a roll-up pin of her own. This got a near fall. So next one was a great spot. Shida was going for a missile drop kick, but Ford did a smooth standing bridge followed by a stunner which got a two. At one point, Keith Sabian came while the referee was distracted. He tried to use the kendo stick on Shida, but it backfired. Ford back in, it says handspring cutter for a near fall. Shida made a comeback, couple of knee strikes, and the Falcon Arrow connected to get the win, and she defended her championship. This was a okay match. In a crazy way, match of the night. Penelope Ford looked great, but she still needs some polishing in ring wise. What do you think?
Mhm. Yes. Polishing in ring wise for Penelope Ford. Yes, I agree. Uh, as you said, Kip Sabian was sent to the back by Aubrey Edwards in the opening part of the match when it didn't even start. We also saw Big Swole. She got a little bit involved in the action, a bit only from the crowd. So we can a little bit see that she might be gunning for a feud with Penelope Ford, and also she is also involved with Britt Baker, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. I'm very
Yes,
sorry.
yes, yes,
Uh,
yes.
when she heals up fully from her injury. And as you pointed out, the great counters, the two great counters, one was the Matrix to the missile dropkick, and the second was the roll up to the Falcon Arrow by
Yes,
Hikaru Shida.
yes.
And the thing with Penelope Ford is that she is a star, in my opinion, that her presence is felt whenever she is on television. From the time that she was with Joey Janela, whenever she was with him, we saw her interfering with the action. She was doing the from the apron running and doing the Hurricane Rana
Yes.
to the outside. Whenever she maximizes her minutes, whenever she is on television. That is also a big reason that why she has, you know, grinded and scratched and clawed her way to the challenger position, to the world championship. She is a star. She has that presence. But yes, as you say, as you're saying that she needs a little bit more ring time. She will only get better as the time goes on. This was a great match for Penelope Ford. It will only go to her resume as being one of the great matches. And with regards to Hikaru Shida being women's champion, uh, I think I think it is only just an opinion of sorts that she might have been crowned champion because of a reason which was not uh, here. It was maybe because of Hana Kimura.
But
Maybe.
but you all but you should remember the fact that she for the before double or anything prior for the 2 3 month period she was winning matches, she was being booked
Yes,
strongly.
I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you. But the fact is that Nyla Rose was the new champion, and even the first champion Riho was also crowned champion because of some tweets that came up of Nyla Rose, which led to a controversy of sorts, which led to Riho being champion rather than Nyla Rose being champion. Nyla Rose, uh, in the words, or you can say in the eyes of AEW, would have been their first champion, but it wasn't to be because of a Twitter controversy of sorts. But after that, she won the championship in the second when the all the controversy died down and everything happened. Uh, Everything went away, and also Nyla Rose also worked on her promo skills. Her promo skills, whatever we saw her, she was having a presence with regards to her promos. So it was only apropos that she got the belt, but just snatching that away with a very short title reign, it was there was some reason, and maybe it was the reason of the demise of Hana Kimura. Maybe. So I am not saying that it is anyway disregarding the skills of Hikaru Shida. Hikaru Shida is an awesome wrestler. Full marks to her. She is even a better wrestler than maybe Nyla Rose in many of the people's opinion. But the fact is, it was a very short reign for Nyla Rose, and it was snatched away from her due to some reason, and it it seems that it was the reason.
Nyla can get the title back. Who knows? The next feud we are getting maybe a rematch between Nyla and Shida.
It could very well be. It could very well be. But the fact is that if you are having a championship and you are building some credibility to a championship, you should have some lengthy title reigns rather than having short title reigns and playing hot potato. like WWE plays with their championships, many championships, not every, but many championships. But you can build legit title belts with your promotion rather than having your championships just for the sake of it. Have it for the sake of that. Yes, it is with a top star, and it would be for the near future, and it makes it even more legitimacy. It gives it more legitimacy, just like Japan does, New Japan Pro Wrestling does with their IWGP Heavyweight Championship. We have lengthy title reigns, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, but you can also consider the fact that there is a lockdown going. Plus, AEW's women's division is little weak than before the lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is. So
Mm-hmm.
moving on, Taz was giving his analysis on John Moxley's finisher, the paradigm shift. He said Moxley won't be able to lock in the move on Brian Cage because Brian Cage has got broad shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Second championship match of the night, TNT championship match, Cody versus Jake Hager. Arn Anderson and Hager's wife Catalina were ringside. So this was a basic Cody match. Either you love it or you don't. Both men went in a technical style during the early parts of the match. We also saw involvement of Anderson and Catalina in the match. Finish saw Hager had Cody in the ankle lock. Cody makes the ropes. He also hit a slap from Catalina. Dustin Rhodes then shows up. Hager hit the Uranagi and was going for the arm triangle, but Cody countered into a pin, and that was it. Nice finish to the match. This made Hager come out a little strong. Don't know what the Dustin Rhodes involvement will lead up to. What do you think?
Yes, I also agree with the your analysis that it was a very unique finish to the bout, and it was a typical technical bout for Cody and Jake Hager, which was also expected with the two amateur wrestling background wrestlers. And we had Cody Rhodes defending the championship, the TNT championship. From the past 5 weeks, he has had four title defenses. We also saw the debut of Ricky Starks, the former NWA television champion,
Hmm.
and Hager at the in the midst of the match, we saw him choking out the enforcer, Arn Anderson, almost through the
Yes.
wall. And at one point, Jake Hager was also limping after being locked in the figure four leg lock by Cody Rhodes. And it was it was also pointed out by the commentators that JR was the head of talent relations at WWE when Jake Hager or Jack Swagger was the one who was brought in WWE when he was in amateur wrestling. At the end, we saw Arn Anderson, we saw Dustin Rhodes interfering in the bout, which helped in a way for Cody to win. And now I would like to say that Arn Anderson has been a kind of a fishy character throughout these matches, throughout the TNT championship matches, all of the matches, he has been some sort of a person who has interfered in some sort of a way.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
Arn Anderson has been a kind of a fishy character. I don't know about uh, you. So Cody seems like a sleeper heel, a bad guy. He is not saying it out loud in his uh, you can say in his interviews or in his promos that I am a good guy or something, or I am a bad guy or something. But his tactics or whatever is happening, it it is screaming like he's a effing heel. What is happening? And he is also some teasing the four horsemen. He did it last week on AEW television, and also FTR also did it. The four finger tease. So maybe a four horsemen thing is happening with regards to FTR and Cody and maybe Sean Spears. I don't know. Maybe something is brewing.
Could be
It is.
they are teasing a four horseman reunion in AEW.
Hmm.
And
Maybe.
and the thing you said about Cody, that it is like he is a natural baby face, but there is a like for the last 10 years or so he was mostly a heel character.
Hmm.
So that could be something that you have been observing for the past few weeks.
It could. Yes, he was a heel on the independent scene. But the fact is, when AEW started, and just before AEW, he was a baby face.
Yeah,
And even when he just started on the independent circuit at Evolve and even at What Culture Pro Wrestling, he was a baby face when he was internet champion, in my opinion, if I'm not wrong. He was a baby face there. Afterwards, the heel turn happened at Ring of Honor when he kicked Jay Lethal in the balls. That's when his heel turn happened, and that's when his character developed. That's when it all came about that he's a bad guy and everything. Right now, what is happening that things are just taking shape in the environment. Arn Anderson, nobody is even questioning that what is happening. Jericho was screaming that he's a cheater. He is helping via illegal tactics. So the fact is that he is, it was not in the rules, it is not in the rules. Whenever Cody is in a detrimental position, we see Arn Anderson on the apron almost every time. Correct me if I'm wrong.
yeah, yeah.
Almost every time we see it, it is a little bit of, we are seeing storytelling. We are seeing storytelling, that we are seeing the evolution of Cody Rhodes into a villain. It is happening. It is happening right before our eyes, and nobody is even questioning it that something is happening. We say it's cool.
Like
It is happening.
it's like the storytelling they are doing is little unpredictable. Anything could happen.
Yes, because it is very subtle.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Back to Cody. What do you think about him defending the championship every week? Because for me, the only interesting thing about is if you get a surprise like Ricky Starks, then I'm only interested because his matches, he's not a workhorse type wrestler like he mentioned.
Hmm.
So, what is your take on Cody and his TNT championship reign?
The championship itself is representing the fact that uh, it has to have a presence on television, because it's basically
Every
his.
week,
Every week, I don't think so every week, but the fact is, if you he has chosen it for the fact that it will get it serves as an attraction, that a championship is going to be defended, it is an attraction. And secondly, you sometimes you can have unpredictability that who is going to answer the challenge, and on some occasions you already announce that this person is going to challenge for the TNT championship, so you are already anticipating that yes, maybe this guy has a chance, maybe has a chance, but he is getting a platform. He is getting a platform. Maybe some person, maybe a person like Pentagon Junior, who is not getting TV time because we have in number of persons, we have in number of storylines, we only have 2 hours. But his presence on television, his uh, you know his performance, or you can say his wrestling for the TNT championship, it can open the eyes of maybe for the likes of Tony Khan or the elite, uh, for developing storylines for him so that it can transpire on AEW television in the near future. So it can open eyes for the people who are maybe unaware or who are just pushing him off that we have other stories, so it can open their eyes. So it is a way for introducing talent. It is a way for testing talent for TV. It can serve many purposes. It is serving for ratings, that you have an attraction of sorts. It is good. And Cody Rhodes is not a five-star bout machine, but yes, he can work the style. He can give you a story with regards to a match inside the ring, a story that you can get behind the other guy, not Cody Rhodes always, but you can mostly you will be behind the other guy, that he should defeat him. He should get the title from Cody. That also will add to the story of Cody Rhodes being the villain. That you will not be behind Cody Rhodes. You will be behind the other people. That will also add to it.
Whatever they do, I hope this leads up to Darby Allin taking the title from Cody,
Hmm.
because there is some history between those two men, and I want to see that. So, post match, Hager took out his frustration on a referee,
Hmm.
knocking him out. So expect a Tony Khan punishment.
Yes, absolutely.
Then we get a Darby Allin video package where he was saying that he isn't still medically cleared, but yet he will still do his typical Darby Allin shit. He was seen doing stunts on the skateboard ramp with his skateboard, so that's always cool to see.
Hmm.
Next was Orange Cassidy joined the commentary team, and Jericho wasn't happy about it. Um, we get Santana and Ortiz versus Private Party, who got new theme by the way, which I don't like. This went
Same
about
here, same here.
yeah, this went about 10 minutes. Both teams did some cool stuff, but still a nothing match. At one point, Santana was Santana was about to use a mad ball, but Matt Hardy pulled it away. By the way, Matt Hardy is mentoring Private Party.
Hmm.
Um, so after that, Santana gets rolled up for a 2 count. Santana and Ortiz back in control. They tried for their street sweeper finisher, but Mark Quinn blinds Santana with his own headband. Ortiz is taken out, and Private Party hit Gin and Juice, and that was it. I actually wanted Santana and Ortiz to win here because that's how that's how much they have fallen in obscurity. But after finding out that the winner of this match is going there is going to have a predictable tag team title match next week. So after hearing that, I didn't care at all.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree with the fact that they are now ob- they have been, in obscurity. The fact is that there was, I guess, there was no story behind this match. Was
Yes.
there any story
No, no, this was just to fill up the card.
to fill up the card? No, that is it. The fact is that now uh, at this point in my, I guess, life, I now I am invested more in the matches where there is a story rather than you are having two people who or two teams who are great at what they do or who are great at wrestling. I am less invested in that. I am more invested in the matches where there is a story. uh, Maybe back in some time ago, I was more in the matches where there are two great wrestlers who are fighting out. Maybe there is not a story, but I am more into that. But now things have changed. Things have changed. Now you have two teams. Private Party is ranked number five. Santana and Ortiz is ranked nothing.
Hmm.
That is a sad thing because and Excalibur added a little bit of a story to this match that Santana and Ortiz were the veterans or the seniors of Private Party at Hog Wrestling or House of Glory Wrestling, which
Yes,
is
yes,
based in New York, in my
yeah,
opinion.
yes, yes, yes.
So, so that is a little bit of a tidbit which can add to the story. And now Matt Hardy is flanking with Private Party. So this match was also a spot fest because it. I am not taking away anything from the two teams because I saw a lot of unique double team offensive maneuvers. LAX or Proud and Powerful or Santana and Ortiz, they are not saying them proud and powerful. I don't know why. Their Titantron says so. Their Twitter handle says so. I don't know why. Because LAX, Proud and Powerful, is a veteran tag team. They have been world tag team champions of Impact Wrestling. Many people are upset, as are you. You are pissed off at the fact that from AEW management for the bad usage or the obscurity of Lucha Brothers and LAX or Proud and Powerful. We know that. And at the end, we saw Private Party defeating LAX with the pinfall victory. And at the end, we also saw Jericho and Orange Cassidy trying to get their hands on one another, but it was just chaos. But yes, I am happy for Lucha Brothers that they are having a match next week. It is good that at least they are having some presence on television. So it is great. It is they are a great tag team and they should be booked in some odd way. We have heard uh, some time ago that there would be a second show of AEW on television. So maybe that would ease up the problem of not being on television or not having presence. It would ease up that problem because right now we have only 2 hours. We have so many great people. It is not helping one bit. And FTR is one team which needs to be on television. They are a great team. Just saying it out there.
Second show or not, when it comes to booking in AEW, I can fully trust in Tony Khan. And regarding the situation, like you said, Lucha Bros, and how I was petitioning for Proud and Powerful. I think their time will come
Hmm.
sooner than later.
Yes, we all can hope for the best.
Yes. So you also mentioned that there was a post-match angle where um, Isaiah Cassidy was dancing in front of Jericho. Jericho got pissed and throws water on both Isaiah Cassidy and Orange Cassidy. Um, Orange Cassidy teased a fight, but he didn't care and walks away. Officials tried to stop Jericho and tried to calm him down, and that was the last we saw on Jericho on commentary.
Hmm.
Hangman Page.
Jericho being on commentary is also basically for the sake of ratings, which is fine, no problem at all. He is entertaining. He was obviously already on commentary throughout the initial part of the lockdown, so it is great. It is great to have him there. Counter programming NXT Bash at the Beach or Great American Bash, whatever you want to call it. It is great.
Yeah, he was the reason that this shows really are a big success.
Hmm.
Um, we had a backstage interview segment. Kenny Omega and Hangman Page were being interviewed. Page puts over the best friend, saying they do deserve a title shot, but the word deserved dries up after tonight. Omega then says they are the best at they were. They are the best tag team and does the goodbye and goodnight deal. Bang. Um, we get a promo segment. Taz and Brian Cage come out. JR questioned why is Cage not. Sorry, why is Cage wearing a T-shirt? I also put out the same question. Taz says he and Cage found out that the World Championship match has been postponed and it will be happening on July 15th at Fight for the Fallen. Taz says he was told that Moxley did wanted to come to the show because of the safety of his co-workers and wrestlers. Taz mentioned Moxley was tested negative twice, and even if he showed up, he would be tested here as well because they don't run a quote unquote run a sloppy shop. That was shoot.
That was a killer. That was a killer line, man. That was mic drop. Goodbye. Fuck you. Bye.
Taz says Moxley is suffering from the chicken shit and says Brian Cage will be the next world champion. Solid promo by Taz. A solid promo by Taz. In a way, he made John Moxley backing out because of this virus a conspiracy. Also, a
Hmm.
little shot at WWE. What do you think
Yes.
about this Cage Taz partnership?
Yes. I'm happy with him that they have uh, Brian Cage has a mouthpiece who can talk great, and and in the front you have John Moxley, who is also great at interviews, at promos. So it would be a good back and forth if you have that. If you have that, so it is a great partnership for Brian Cage. That you have a machine, you have a big bodybuilder guy, and he has a mouthpiece who can talk for him. So it is great. It is great. And now today's promo was the one which struck lightning. Today's promo was the one which really struck, which can go far with regards to people being invested and striking for the feud, and also people, you know, thinking twice with regards to Taz being on AEW television. That he can be that good, he is that good. You have to just give him a little leverage. He can be that good. He is that good. It was
Yes,
all, it was seeming like a little bit of a ECW original, a shoot promo kind of stuff. It is.
he is already on that Paul Heyman Brock Lesnar level.
Hmm. Yes, yes. He
Uh, yeah, go on.
is he. Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar is a very established partnership which has blossomed over the years. So we have to see, we have to wait and watch that what happens with regards to Taz and Brian Cage. But it is a good pairing that you have a good mouthpiece who can talk and who also knows SHIT. And on the other side, you have a machine, you have a person who looks the part and who can do shit. So it is good. We have to see how it blossoms as the days pass.
So the main event, AEW World Tag Team Championship match, Kenny Omega and Hangman Page versus the Best Friends. So the Best Friends, they made their entrance. They made their entrance in a van. Trent's mom was driving the van, and she gave her son a good luck kiss. But Trent was not happy to be mommy's boy tonight.
Hmm.
So match underway. Omega and Chuck start back and forth and a stalemate. Tag made. Trent Beretta and Hangman Page enter. Same thing happens here. Omega and Page were working on Trent until FTR shows up to scout the match. Chuck got the tag, ran wild on both Omega and Page. Best friends in control. Omega was suplexed onto Page. Omega and Page make a comeback, so let's jump to the finish. Page hits buckshot lariat on Trent to get the win. A good little tag team match which couldn't get to the next level. And I and I actually really wanted and I really wanted the best friends to win here, but there's FTR who are slowly getting their own slow push and climbing the ranks. So it it is what it is. What do you think about
Hmm.
it?
Yes, I agree with the fact that I also wanted, just like maybe many people wanted, best friends, the underdogs to win the match. But the fact is, it is what it is. You know, they have to win, they have to go ahead and, you know, face the potential candidates in the faces of FTR or maybe the Young Bucks too. We have to see, we have to wait and watch what happens. But we know at this moment that Omega and Page will be facing Private Party next week for the AEW Tag Team Championship. Uh, but yes, the fact of FTR being tag team specialist and being different has put a kind of fire on the rear ends of many tag teams with regards to getting their A game on every week whenever they are there. Because it will come a time that it dawns on them that we cannot only, rely on your spots, only spots. We have to have stories as well in the midst of the ring. You have to have that. It will come a time. They, people will be exposed. Many people will say that I am not buying this tag team, this style, because FTR, how they are wrestling, it is very different. How they are wrestling, different move sets every other week whenever they wrestle, it is different. It is not the same. It's spot. No, it is not like that. There is ground and pound. There is suplexes. There is a assisted suplex. There are differences. There is a psychological game to it. And with regards to best friends have been an integral part of AEW television programming since the lockdown. Um Tony Khan, in a recent episode of the AEW Unrestricted podcast, also said so that best friends even uh, shot with them for maybe 12 hours or more with their tapings when there was a lockdown and they were unable to tape their shows, and they went to Georgia with their nightmare family facility, and they shot a few episodes there. So best friends were there. They shot episodes there with them for maybe 12 hours or more. So they have been a huge asset to AEW, and they have been a top ranked team throughout. So they have been a workhorse basically, as the term you used. And Orange Cassidy came in uh, thereafter, but and best friends were on a 7 match winning streak. So it is what it is. Many people, including me, including you, were on the side of best friends that maybe there is a chance that they can get a win tonight. But there was a little chance. But it was a great moment to see them coming, getting an entrance in the van with Trent's mom. It is the moments which last for a lifetime. It was a good little match, not very extraordinary. It is what it is. Omega and Page retained the title, and at the end we saw Lucha. Oh, sorry, I'm very sorry.
FTR.
Young
FTR.
Bucks, Young Bucks, and FTR. Both they entered the ring, and a scuffle happened. Basically, Young Bucks were, you know, sorting it out because Kenny Omega. The thing is, FTR maybe are not aware of Kenny Omega that he doesn't drink. He only drinks milk, and maybe they are not avid watchers of Being the Elite. Maybe that is the reason. So they were very offended by the fact that Kenny Omega just threw the beer outside, which FTR offered, and Hangman Page very well obliged, and he took the beer because he has a problem. He has a problem basically.
Yeah,
What did you think regarding the post match chaos?
I think I did miss the Young Bucks part where I was watching the AEW Dynamite.
All right.
So yeah, so the FTR are getting a slow push when it comes to them challenging for the tag team championship plus their feud with the Young Bucks. So yeah,
Mhm.
that was uh, night one of Fighter Fest.
Mhm. One more thing. Is there any confirmation regarding FTR's contract? Because I don't know uh, regarding where will FTR be competing, because FTR would, in my opinion, would be very well be open to wrestle in NWA, even New Japan Pro Wrestling. So how will that be worked out, or it
Last
has?
The last thing I heard is that they are freelancers,
Mm-hmm.
which means they are able to work other promotions, at least the indies.
Okay.
New Japan may
So,
be a consideration.
pardon?
New Japan may be a consideration. Like they could
Mm-hmm.
get the same deal like Moxley, Omega, and Jericho.
Mm-hmm. All right. Mm-hmm. But NWA would be a problem with regards to that, because NWA, if you are maybe working NWA, that opens doors for Ring of Honor. That maybe uh, that could be a problem. I don't know, because
Any, anything could happen if they if this lockdown restrictions get even more eased up. Then they could be working every promotion in North America plus New Japan.
mhm. So in that case, will Tony Khan as a promoter, will will he be open to put his tag titles on such a team like FTR, who is working for maybe multiple promotions, who is not exclusive to their promotion? Would he be open to that? That is a big question mark.
Interesting fact. Um, who is the AEW World Champion right now?
John Moxley. So
Uh,
he
which
can work
what is the other promotion he works for?
New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Um, Plus he is their IWGP United States champion.
Yes. So, but in my opinion, he only works two promotions, not more than that.
Yeah,
So there is a kind of a restriction, or you can say there is a cap to it. But in case of FTR, if there is New Japan Pro Wrestling, there is NWA, then there, if there is NWA, there can also be Ring of Honor. So there is Ring of Honor, then there is AEW. So that means multiple promotions. That is a whole different ball game.
if you want to talk about limitations, then it will be the Indies in plus New Japan. That's
Ah,
it.
yes, yes. Hmm. Hmm.
They can't go to Ring of Honor, NWA, Impact.
But they would be very open to working with NWA, because it is basically their style, and they are very well, inspired by it. So they would very well be, salivating at the opportunity to work at NWA. In my opinion, or in my estimate. But let's see how will it work, and how will they work about it. What will their contractual obligations be? Because they are in a position that everybody knows that they are coming from WWE, and everybody knows their how capable they are. So they are in a better position. They have the leverage. So maybe something can be worked out, that they can work maybe NWA too with New Japan and AEW.
At
Let's
the
see.
end of the day, at the end of the day, it depends on their contracts.
Yes. How will it work out? Uh, their contracts, their leverage. That's what it is. And will Tony Khan be open to put their top prize, their top tag team titles on a team who is working for multiple promotions? That would also be a good thing to think
If
about.
they, if they can do it with John Moxley, they can definitely do it with FTR.
Maybe.
Yeah, so that was night one of Fighter Fest. Like I said during the starting of the show, it was a good show, but not a great show.
Hmm. Yes, I agree.
So before we leave, do you want to do a rapid fire predictions for night two of Fighter Fest?
Sure, why not? Let's go through the card. What matches do we have?
So in three, two, one, yeah. So first off, a eight-man tag match, FTR and the Young Bucks versus Lucha Bros and Butcher and Blade. Who you got?
I got the Young Bucks and FTR.
Me too. I'm also going with FTR and Young Bucks. Lance Archer versus Joey Janela.
Lance Archer.
Lance Archer as well. Six-man tag team match. The Dark Order represented by Brody Lee, Stu Grayson, and Colt Cabana versus SCU.
Dark Order.
Same here, Dark Order as well. Nyla Rose versus Tessa Blanchard.
Tessa Blanchard. Is it confirmed?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Um,
the,
she's gonna be in action.
mm-hmm. Nyla Rose said we that she has a quote unquote surprise,
Yeah,
a surprise enhancement talent.
could be.
Ah, all
Um,
right.
let's
So
see if
whoever
it's
wins.
Tessa Blanchard or not.
Let's see.
AEW Tag Team Title match: Omega and Page versus Private Party.
Mm, Omega and Page. Omega and Page.
Just Omega and Page retaining the title, just like I said in the review, a very predictable tag team title match. Finally, which I assume will be the main event, Chris Jericho versus Orange Cassidy.
Uh, I think um, Orange Cassidy would be winning, and we might see maybe some kind of involvement from Mike Tyson, maybe.
Hmm. In that case, if there is no Mike Tyson appearance, I'm going with Jericho. Plus, he will put Orange Cassidy through the moon because he's gonna be that over at the end of the night.
Hmm.
So
Agreed.
I'm going with Jericho. So
Okay.
those were our predictions for night two of Fighter Fest. Um, so where can these guys find you?
Guys, you can find me on Instagram, on Twitter at AbbyManiac, ABBYMANIAC, and you can subscribe on YouTube to Wrestle Square Pro Wrestling. That is the Indian professional wrestling promotion which I work for. I am the commentator and the on-air authority figure for Wrestle Square.
You can find Slamhub Wrestling on Twitter at SlamhubW, Instagram at Slamhub Wrestling. Our podcast and reviews are mainly audio based, and if you don't want your YouTube app running for that, then you can catch Slamhub Wrestling on Anchor and Spotify as well. So this was Fighter Fest Night One review, and we'll see you guys next time.